Hello and welcome back to meticulously crafted frame to show off guitar, even though guy in frame only knows how to play the beginning to Blink-182's Damn It. The show. Starring me. That guy. So that last video I did where I talked about a cool project I got to work on while we're stuck here in quarantine was really fun. And I thought I'd kind of keep that ball rolling and talk more about video stuff. So this is a video about videos. Put that in your algorithm and smoke it. So the topic I want to approach today is the ever-important demo reel. If you've ever applied for a job in video or animation, you know that this is maybe the most important part of an application you can possibly have. Now, over the last about decade that I've been doing this professionally, I've had probably 7 or 8 different demo reels. It's important to try and keep it as up-to-date as possible, but sometimes you just don't have the time, especially if you're working a full-time job as a video editor. Taking time on the side to make an entirely new demo reel just sounds exhausting. Plus, I'm not looking for a new job, so I don't really need a new demo reel right now. And I hope I don't have to look for a new job anytime soon. I really like my job. Please don't fire me, Roblox. So I thought a fun little experiment would be to look back at my very first demo reel from about 2009 and compare it to my most recent one from 2018, and we can kind of dissect what's so bad about this first one and what's super awesome about my new one. So, seems like a fun idea, right? Let's do that. So much of this is from like short films that I worked on in high school and like shortly after high school. So it's not great. Like that first one there of the dude getting run over in the chicken hat was just like, look, I know some cool basic camera tricks where it looks like a guy's getting run over, but the car's not moving. It's a parked car. That's all dolly shots, baby. It's like, when is that ever going to be relevant in an editing job? It's not really, unless you're making like Disney Channel original comedies, which they still make those? Is it still a thing? I don't know, that seems very late 90s. Lens flares. They were really a big part of my repertoire back then. Didn't know what to do? Toss a lens flare on it. Didn't know what to do with a lens flare? Just make it go from here to here. Bam, you got an animation, baby. That's animated. I was really proud of that specific visual effect. It was a dude on a green screen going, ah, and then like a reverse of his phone so that we could kind of like pan them separately so you get that weird like bullet time spin, and then there was just like static shots of people looking at him that we just whip panned by. It's pretty cool. And it's really cheesy, but everything I do is cheesy, as made evidence by this next shot. This was me showing that I can make custom DVD menus, which was actually a thing I had to do for a class in college. But I used that as an example of being able to make a custom DVD menu for a documentary we shot at this anime convention in my hometown. And it's not really a documentary. It's my friend going around making stupid jokes to people in costumes. Hey, I got an A in the class. What do you want from me? So this right here, this last shot of the demo reel, is a prime example of something you should never do. I had gone through a Video Copilot tutorial. Anyone who's ever opened After Effects knows what I'm talking about.
Now, today we're going to be taking a look at creating a cool title treatment like this.
and I sort of made it my own. Basically, all I did is I changed the text to something from Splinter Cell. I'm a huge Splinter Cell fan, and went through the tutorial and built this. Don't do that. As someone who's had to hire someone for this job, we can tell when you just walked through a Video Copilot tutorial and then posted that in your demo reel. Believe it or not, we've heard of Video Copilot as well. Crazy, I know. But if you're gonna do a tutorial, go through it, learn the lessons from it, and then make it your own. Do your own thing that shows that you digested that information and can actually make something unique out of it. Because when you're working for a company, they're not gonna let you just make a Video Copilot tutorial but with their logo. If you take anything from this video, take that one lesson. Don't do that. It wasn't awful. There's some good bones there. And I'll start with the fact that it's short. Too many times I'll get a demo reel from a friend who's like, hey, what can I do to improve this? And my first note is always, this is way too long. You gotta cut this shit down, man. And I get it. It can be hard to know what to keep in and what to lose, because when you spend so much time working on a thing, it can feel like it's really important, even if it's not. But it helps if you have a friend who can watch it and go, this doesn't really need to be in there. That doesn't really need to be in there. Anytime I make a new demo reel, I make sure to show it to as many people as possible so they can give me those notes before I send it off to a potential employer. Another piece of advice, especially if this is your first demo reel, if you're using a copyrighted piece of music, don't upload it to YouTube. Upload it to Vimeo. There's nothing wrong with sending a demo reel over YouTube. I'm not gonna dox someone for sending me a YouTube link as opposed to a Vimeo link. I know some people think that that's gonna be a problem, but honestly, I don't care where you upload to. If you're good at editing, you're good at editing. You're not submitting to Sundance, you're submitting for a job. The problem with uploading a copyrighted song though to YouTube, as most people know, is it's gonna get flagged by the algorithm, and they could just completely take the music out of it. If not that, they'll run an ad in front of it, and if you don't have control over the ad, it could place something, I don't know, distasteful. It could put like a Trump 2020 ad in front of it, and you're applying for a job at Google. And I don't know if you know this, but those of us here in the Bay Area, not a huge fan of that Trump guy. So, could put a bad taste in the employer's mouth. If I saw that, I would know it's not your fault. Most employers probably would know that's not your fault, especially if you're applying at Google. But it puts you in a bad mindset before you watch the demo reel, and you definitely don't want to do that. Keep people cheerful, and then go into what you're trying to sell. So that's kind of like a breakdown of my first demo reel, and kind of some just quick, simple notes to take into cutting your first demo reel. Keep it short, keep it sweet, cut to the beat, and if you use a copyrighted piece of music, for the love of God, don't put it on YouTube. So right off the bat, not only do we have a fun, catchy song that's got a lot of good quick cuts and beats, we've also got some simple sound design, which I think goes a long extra mile for this kind of thing. Not a lot of people are gonna put sound design into their demo reels, and I find when I do, it sets me apart from the crowd. So if you're going in for a new demo reel, try adding some sound design. I know it adds some time to cutting one of these things, and that's the last thing you wanna do is add more time to cutting a demo reel. But I'm telling you, it's a little extra cherry on top to add some cool, fun sound design. It's a thing I learned doing lots of short, flashy trailers. Think of your demo reel as your short, flashy trailer. You're convincing someone to buy a ticket to your face. And the price of admission is a yearly salary and benefits. So it's pretty expensive. But you're worth it, baby. Another good tip is build not necessarily a narrative, but a good flow through the structure of your demo reel. Like you'll notice there was a bunch of back-to-back accolade shots that just went one after the other. And it was sort of my showing off the same thing over and over again, but doing it so fast that you don't get bored looking at it. And sometimes it's good to show that Not only do I know how to do this, but I've done it so many times that it's second nature. As long as it doesn't live under strict NDA, demo reels are a great way to show off content that you've created that your employer decided not to release. That was a great example of that. And speaking of structure, you'll notice that the animated Batman Unmasked logo flows us immediately into showing off video production side of things as opposed to more motion graphics heavy things. So I was showing off camera work that I did for our talk show, and then it goes into a cool top-down shot that I made for a personal project that never came to be, and it goes directly into back when I used to do events and was traveling around shooting video of people at those events. This is a part that I'm not crazy about at the end here, where I sort of just like toss in some motion graphics. It cuts into what I was just talking about with the flow, where it doesn't flow back into motion graphics. It's just sort of like, here's some cool I forgot to add. Let's toss that in the back. And it was clearly just to like match the length of the song. And so I took the things that I was like, this is cool enough to put in, but I don't know where to put it. So I just crammed it into the end here. It's not the worst thing in the world, but if you want like a truly perfectly cohesive demo reel, don't do this. But I did it, and I got 2 different jobs from this reel. So what do I know? And yeah, that was my most recent demo reel, which honestly I'm still pretty proud of. If I were to make a new one, I would kind of just update this one that's already been constructed. And it would just be about taking out shots that are older, probably some of that stuff from my event days, and plugging in new things from when I worked at PlayStation and now working at Roblox. So as I mentioned, think of your demo reel as a cool, short, fast-paced trailer about you. You're trying to sell a ticket to a summer blockbuster about why you deserve this job. I know that sounds like a weird way to approach it, and if you're doing something more corporate, like maybe you're going to be working for a medical technology company, or maybe you're going to go and do ads for a homeowners association that wants to dissolve in order to sell their property at higher prices, 2 projects I've worked on in real life, then, that might seem excessive. But you're still gonna grab more attention coming in, making something flashy and cool, than you are just throwing a bunch of stuff you've worked on to some generic YouTube music. So keep that in mind, and make something cool, make something flashy, and if you're actually one of my friends, you're always welcome to send me your demo reel, and I'll give you notes. If you're just some stranger on the internet, I don't know, maybe I'll watch it. It feels weird giving advice to strangers. I don't know how to do that. I don't want you to think I'm mean. I like being liked. Okay, bye!